Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Professor GSK's Social Laboratory presents interaction with Professor GSK. So, thank you very much for your patient waiting. And due to some technical issues, we were not able to start on time. So, anyway, thank you very much to have you all today for this wonderful interaction. In this series of interaction with Professor GSK, so we had a lot of good personalities across India, and we were discussing different and important topics. Through that, we are trying to impart some kind of insights for the especially for the youngsters and students of this country. So in that series, today we have a wonderful personality and and he is into in the service of igniting the young minds and students. So that is a wonderful job our chief guest is actually doing. So happy to actually proceed with this particular interview. So we are having Mr. Krishna. We are having Mr. Krishna, a very popular mindfulness coach, and he is running an organization based at Coimbatore and doing lot of services. And he runs a organization called AskKrishna Center for Mindfulness. He has more than 2 decades of experience in learning and development, life and leadership. A coach based on the mindfulness concept, and he has designed and delivered numerous talk shows, learning and development content, and leadership development programs and workshops. And for that he acclaimed a lot of appreciation from youngsters, especially students across India. As a family business consultant, he also actually doing a lot of programs and so on. So we have Mr. Krishna, Ask Krishna Center for Mindfulness today to have an interaction on mindfulness matters. So we welcome you, Mr. Krishna, for this interaction with Professor GSK. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Professor GSK. I'm glad and happy to be here. I'm happy to interact with your audience through you. So happy to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, welcome. So, to give a better idea and, a fundamental idea about what is mindfulness and, about that, I would like to take forward the discussion from here. See, when we are talking about the mindfulness, I think, there is a mindlessness. Okay. So, we would like to hear from you what is the differentiation between the mindlessness and mindfulness, why mindfulness is getting so important in the in these particular days. So I would like to know what is mindfulness, and also you please provide the state of mindlessness also, because mindfulness, the need of mindfulness is very much demanded when there is a mindlessness. So that is what I believe. I may be wrong, but we would like to hear from you on this, Krishna.
Uh, Satish, if you see, we are constantly used to this word choice,
Mm,
right? So somebody told me some time back, some years back, Krishna, today I choose to be happy. So at the face of it, it looks very romantic. It looks very, good, very positive. Somebody, calls me early in the morning and says, Krishna, today I choose to be happy. So I asked that person, what was the alternatives, what were the choices to choose from? What was the choices that person had to choose from that he or she choose happiness? So actually, if you see, is there any choice there?
no.
No, actually, there's no choice. So when you say I choose to be happy, when you say that I choose to be happy, it means you are mindless,
Okay.
because you are not aware that you have. See, is the alternative suffering, unhappiness, struggle, misery, and then happiness, and from this I choose happiness. It sounds very silly and it sounds very mindless. It has no meaning. It has no meaning. The things that have no meaning is mindless way of living. So when you say that, when you are aware, when you are mindful, it means to understand that there are no psychological choices. You may have a choice to wear a white shirt or a blue shirt, but psychologically, right, you cannot say today I choose to be happy. You cannot say today I choose to be brave. You cannot say today I choose to be a good man. Somebody says today I choose love. So what are the alternatives to choose from? Hatred. So from hatred they choose love. So if you say that I have choices, it means to be mindless. If somebody understands this very deeply, right, then they understand to live mindfully, it means to live without any psychological choices.
Okay. Okay. See, actually, I was going through, a course on neuroeconomics, which tries to blend economic psychology and neuroscience, where I come across, there is no free will at all. Okay, so we are talking about free will. When I hear from you, that learning what I learned from that course only, comes to my mind. So, what do you think if there is a free will, if there are not? As you touched, there is no choice. That no choice is, I see like it's a more of there is no free will. We are actually, induced by some psychological factors. And what we may think that we are taking this decision with our consciousness, this is our decision, but most of the time the decisions what we take, it may, it is not ours, it is actually influenced by several factors. So what is your your take on this free will? Do you believe if that the free will is existing, and if so or if no, why and how?
Satish, fundamentally, I don't believe in anything.
Okay.
I have no belief in me at all of anything. Either
Okay.
it's a fact, I see it.
Mm.
Do I believe that I have a mother, or do I have a mother?
Mm, mm, mm.
So if I say that I believe I have a mother, it means I'm not sure. The belief
Mm,
comes in when we are not sure,
mm,
right?
mm.
So whenever you are very sure, you don't talk about belief. So that's why people start believing in God. They are not sure whether God exists or not. So
Okay.
from there, if you understand, see, there's a very interesting. I'm sure in that course you would have come across. There's a
Mm,
very interesting neuroscience research that points out to, even before we take a decision, 7 to 10 seconds prior to that decision making, our brain neurons fire, indicating that we have taken a decision.
mm,
I'm
mm.
sure you must have come across this interesting research.
Yeah.
Suppose multiple colors are put across your screen for you to choose from: blue, red, green, and so on and so forth. Suppose you are choosing green color.
Mm,
And before you are aware that you're choosing green color, your
mm.
brain registers 10 seconds prior to that you
Correct.
have chosen that color green. So
Correct.
where does free will come from? There's no free will at all, actually. So we live in a very conditioned mind. Right? We genetically, our memory, everything is filled with a lot of memory, lot of knowledge, lot of experiences, known and unknown. Therefore, to me, if I see, right, everything happens by itself, and then if something goes good, we say I have done it. Something goes bad, we are sad and we start blaming others, right? But
Yeah.
it's a very intense, very interesting topic. Even if you take, there's a book called biology. Martin Lindstrom, a very big neuroscientist, have written that book. So he says that the reasons we buy a particular product, or we reject a particular product, is not based on conscious decisions. It happens very unconsciously.
Correct. Yeah. So, we are talking about this free will, and you said your views on that. See, when I read about mindfulness, I just done a little bit of research before since I am going live with you and having an interaction on this. So I read that there are four major aspects are being addressed in the mindfulness. For example, it addresses the mindfulness of body and mindfulness of feelings or sensation and mindfulness of consciousness. So this when you are talking about this free will and all, so that consciousness we are also talking about. And the fourth one is mindfulness of tamas. Okay, so mindfulness of kaya, mindfulness of vedanta, siddha, and tama. So I just referred these things. So I would like to hear from you. Can you give a brief, explanation about what is these four different domains or aspects of mindfulness? How that is very much related to one's individual's life as well as the social life. The person is having two lives, social life and individual life. How these aspects of mindfulness will help an individual to have a better individual life as well as the social life.
Satish, first of all, to divide and segregate or classify something is not the right approach to mindfulness. Though
Okay.
in popular science they have done it. To my understanding, working in this arena for more than last 20 years, I have found out if you are going to separate, if you are going to divide into mindfulness of the body, mindfulness of the feelings, mindfulness of the consciousness, all those things, right? Then you mean to say that so suppose, for example, if I'm fearing something, automatically I'll have a deep breath. Automatically I'll have a deep breath, right? If I'm also joyful, I'll have a deep breath, right? So they are all interconnected. They are all one part. They express themselves as differently. So modern way of approaching mindfulness is to segregate this and say that body is different, the feelings, the emotions are different, the consciousness is different, the characteristics are, the personality is different. These things are very, to me, they are very short-sighted. Either you are integrally completely aware, or you are not aware. It's not that you are aware bodily, you are aware physically, and that just for convenience they have done it. And to my understanding, they have not understood mindfulness well to say that they can segregate or separate my awareness, right? So it is not that you can be bodily aware and then forget your sentiments. You can be aware. See, everything has interconnection. It is one life. So either you are aware of your life, or you are not. In that life, your sentiments, your emotions, your feelings, your intelligence, your body, your physical body, right, your consciousness, everything put together is one life. It is put together one life. And second, further, your question also states that we live a social life, we live a family life, we live a work life. Is the person different from both these things?
Okay. No.
Is the person Krishna at home and the person Krishna at office, or the person Krishna at the social is different?
No. You are one. Yeah.
You are one. But how have we taken this life? How have we taken this life? Right? We say that we have to be brutally competitive, kill the competition, and come back to our home and talk to our children, be compassionate. See the conflict we are living in. Right? So we tell the children, we tell our own children, don't lie, but we take our children to a holiday and then write a leave letter to the school saying that my
Yeah.
son is not feeling well. We do it as a parent, we do it. So you understand, we are living in constant conflict, we are living in constant contradictions. And when you are in constant conflict and contradiction, it means that you are applying some choice, that you have a choice to live this way here and you have a choice to live that way there. But moment you have psychological choice, you are living a mindless life. If you are mindful, you have no choice at all.
Yeah. See, you
Psychologically, you
quoted
have
that.
no choice.
Yeah. Yeah. You quoted that mindfulness is not a single action. It's a network. It's a chain of things. I would like to know from you, you have to tell, I'm not a expert in that. You have to tell, where does all this mindfulness starts for a person? So if I just want to be a person, getting into the mindfulness, I just, want to build the quality of having the mindfulness, where one should start and where does it actually starts?
See, are we aware why we are doing certain things? Suppose now I'm aware that I'm watching this program. I, I am aware that I am having a conversation with you, right? Hello.
Yes, Krishna, you continue. Yeah, continue.
Yeah. I'm aware that I'm having a conversation with you, all these things.
Yeah.
I'm watching this program, probably as a viewer, I'm watching this program. But have I ever questioned why I'm doing what I'm doing?
Hmm.
What one does is quite obvious. One goes for a job, probably one goes, one marries, one has a child, one has children, one has a bank balance, one has a name, fame, one wants to have an ambition, right? One wants to have a very big vision, dream, right? One wants to have a goal, one wants to collect money, right? All this, what they want is quite obvious, right? But if I ask this question, why they want what they want, so then
Yeah.
what happens? So I am ambitious. Why am I ambitious? I am having a dream. Why am I having a dream? Right? I want to reach 100 million people. Why I want to reach 100 million people? So if you start with these questions in your life, right? See, to my understanding, do we know the meaning of our existence? Have you ever questioned the meaning of our existence? I am not asking the purpose of our existence. I am
Hmm.
asking the meaning of our existence.
Hmm.
Right? We can understand, we can find out why we want to have a purpose. I have a larger purpose in life. I have a bigger purpose in life. My purpose is to touch the whole world. My purpose is to transform the whole world. Probably that could be my purpose. But why am I having the purpose? Why am I having the purpose to transform the whole world? So once you start questioning yourself, right? Questioning your what you are doing is quite evident, right? What you're doing is being ambitious. What you're doing is want to get married. What you're doing is you want to pursue an education. What you're doing is quite obvious. But why you are doing what you're doing is more important, most important. Once you start understanding why you are doing what you're doing, then you understand exactly what you're doing. You understand the meaning behind your actions. So understanding meaning behind your actions choicelessly is the beginning of mindfulness. So you're muted.
How to understand, my existence of life, even I find the struggle to know my purpose of living. Okay. So many of us, common mans, even find very difficult to, identify what is the purpose of living. So in that, context, how do I identify, my existence of living? So any,
Sir, so why should one have a purpose to live? Life is so vast. Life is so expansive. Life is so infinite. Right? Why should I constrict myself, I narrow myself to have a purpose to live? First, I should understand. Just the earlier question I tried answering,
mm,
what I want is a purpose, but why I want a purpose. So,
mm,
understanding why we are doing what we are doing, reveals about us and
mm.
why we are doing. Now, please answer this. Why do you want a purpose to live?
See, is it all about knowing ourselves? Are you talking about internalizing the things and try to know about ourselves? So if that is a start point where I can understand that why you are asking about.
Yes. That is the fundamental questions towards self knowledge.
Hmm.
See, without understanding myself, without understanding my own motives and intentions behind my own actions, how do I understand others?
even that self knowledge, I believe that even that self knowledge is not actually built by your own understanding. So whatever you build as a self knowledge, it is actually influenced by several external circumstances too, right? A lot of see, Krishna as a personality, it doesn't mean that Krishna himself evolved as a Krishna. So actually, the evolution of Krishna as a personality is actually influenced by several other existing factors which is being in the the world. So that in this context, that self knowledge and understanding the self is also somewhat depending on the external world rather than the internal world. So see personally, I cannot separate my internal journey from the my external understanding. So what do you think on this?
Sir, simple. Suppose we walk inside an industry. We walk inside an industry. As I walk inside an industry or a corporate or an organization, there's a security man standing outside the gate. There's a security man standing outside the gate. How do I greet him? Do I ever greet him first? Do I ever greet him? I go near him. Do I say, is the owner there? Is the MD there? Is the chairman there? Right? That you see my language, my body language. Is the chairman there? But once I go inside the office, once inside I go inside the corporate, inside the office organization, when I meet the chairman, how do I meet him? Sir, hello, sir. Namaskaram, sir. Good evening, sir. I'm very benevolent. I'm very, my body language is very different. Now, the way I treat the security man and the way I treat the chairman, is it not guided by my external circumstances? The watchman, the security man has no importance in my life. Yes, I cannot gain anything from him. Therefore, I treat him with some sort of contempt. My gestures, the way I talk to him, and so on and so forth. My approach to that watchman is basically some sort of contempt and scorn. But when I talk to the chairman, when I talk to the head of the organization, I show a lot of respect. Because I can gain something from that chairman. I can gain something from that head of the organization. Therefore, is it not that my actions, my expressions are guided by my external, my circumstances? The watchman is nothing to me, and the chairman is something to me. Therefore, my respect towards the watchman is zero or negative. My respect to the head of the organization is very high. So why not I approach both of them equally?
Okay.
Do we ever do that?
Okay. See, we won't think normally in that aspect, right? So, my question is how to.
No. So once again, now if you are saying that we don't think normally in that aspect, that is the point. You are mindless.
Okay.
Because always you are seeing what is the gain for me. It's a self-centered activity.
Correct.
I am nice to GSK because he's showing me on some video. Few hundred people are watching my video. I am nice to GSK, but on the road somebody I use a filthy vulgar language because he's nobody to me. I have no gain, so I don't respect. So if there's some benefit, if there is some gain for me, some profit for me in that relationship, I am nice. I'm trying to be nice. Else I'm just disrespectful to that person. Why?
Okay, so that is what the mindlessness, right? So
Yes.
okay.
So I'm not
See,
even aware I'm doing this.
okay, so we not even aware I am mindlessness, and see, when you are aware, you will actually go for correcting it. Say for example, when we aware of we have some problem, we have some psychologically we have some issues, we will go and consult. We will go and consult. We take counselings. So the people those who go for counseling are aware that they are into some problem. So they will get counseling and they will come out of that. So in that way, as you said, I want to be aware. See, I am mindlessness, so I need to learn, and practice myself to be a mindfulness. Okay, so that is what I got it from you. So my question again, that funda from there. See, I am aware, I am mindlessness. So where do I start there should be one starting momentum, right, to practice mindfulness. Okay, so I am aware and I am interested to develop mindfulness in me. So where do I start and how do I start with? So any
So the so,
practical
so the
idea?
moment so the moment you are saying I am aware of my mindlessness, the moment you are saying, the very moment you are saying that I am aware of my own mindlessness, is it not that you have become mindful? Is it not that you have become aware?
Yeah, that awareness I am okay, but what I'm asking
But
is
that is mindfulness. That is mindfulness.
how to sustain it. Yes, see, sometimes I aware and I may be a lazy. I may not take it forward. How to sustain that awareness to keep myself for mindfulness ever? So you are an
Sir,
expert. Yeah.
mindfulness means to be aware choicelessly from moment to moment.
Okay.
Right? So why do you want to be aware continuously?
Hmm.
Why can't you take life moment to moment?
Okay.
Why are you projecting now you're once again you're falling inside the same trap. You're projecting yourself into saying that I want to be mindful continuously. So when you're saying continuously, you're lost that moment.
No, no, I'm
So
talking about I'm talking about sustaining that state of mindfulness. Okay,
so
sustaining that.
there's no state of mindfulness that can be sustained. If you're
Okay.
calling, if you're talking about sustenance, you're projecting yourself to the future.
Okay.
So mindfulness means it is to be aware moment by moment without any choice.
Okay.
So how I approach the watchman, how I approach the head of the organization, there's a choice, there's a difference.
So there
So
is no. Yeah, there is no feature of mindfulness. It's a momentum to momentum.
yes, moment to moment.
Okay, so got it. So I
You
asked all
see,
this, yeah, to clarify. Yeah.
this moment you are aware, you see the benefit of it, you see the benefit of it, then your mind says, I want to continue this. I
Mm.
want to have this moment eternally. I want to have this moment continuously. I want to sustain this moment continuously because you see the benefit of it. So once you start working like that, then you're thinking about the future. You're thinking about the future. It means you have lost this moment.
Mm.
Sitting in this moment, you are thinking about the future, right? That means you're worrying about the future. When you say you're thinking about the future, how to be sustainable, how to be engaged, how to be continuously mindful into the future, that means you're worrying about the future. So
Okay.
you've already lost your awareness. You're already slipped back into mindlessness. So your thing is, can you be aware? I'm not saying do whatever you want. Do whatever you want. Is it possible for you to be choicelessly aware about what you're doing? Understand why you're doing what you're doing.
Okay. Okay. See, I'm taking the conversation into the another platform of discussion. See, mindfulness. When we talk, hear about mindfulness and some. The mental health oriented. So this is also, I believe, it's a kind of mental health aspect. So when we talk about all these things, to some way or other way, we relate it to the religion and we relate it to some religious practices. Okay. So, as like mindfulness is also largely, from the outer world, from the common man's point of view, and it is more looked at like it's connected to a particular religion. So I would like to get your opinion if that is so, if this is connected to the religious practices of one particular religion, or it's a evolution of the scientific concepts, as like so many concepts and models we are evolving. So what do you think, Krishna?
Sir, I'm just aware of what I'm doing.
Hmm.
Right? I'm just being aware of what I'm doing. In that sense, I am treating the watchman and the head of the organization equally, fairly, compassionately. Right? I'm approaching, I'm talking, I'm communicating with the security of the organization as well as the head of the organization with compassion, with equanimity. Right? So, treating somebody equally, treating somebody with equanimity and love and compassionate, what is the religion involved there?
Okay. No,
So
yeah,
to understand myself, To
Yeah.
understand myself, I'm understanding myself. Now, when I question myself, I'm indifferent to the security man. I'm quite indifferent to the head of the organization. What I'm doing is I'm disrespectful to the security man. I'm with respect, I'm moving with the head of the organization. This is what I'm doing. Now I'm asking this question: why am I doing differently? Why I'm having a choice of action with the watchman, and why am I having a choice of action with the chairman? Right? So when I ask this question, why I'm doing what I'm doing, I understand that the watchman has nothing to give to me. I do not profit anything from the watchman. Therefore, I choose to be disrespectful to the watchman, to the security man, but I am expecting some sort of relevance, some sort of profit, some sort of gain, some sort of transaction with the head of the organization. Therefore, I am showing some sort of respect. Right? So when I question myself why I'm doing what I'm doing, this reveals that my different actions to different people is based on my profit. So I'm respecting the other person out of my own profit. Is it really respect? So where is the religion involved here?
Okay. Got
In
it.
understanding I'm understanding my actions. I'm understanding myself well. Just that's it. Right? I'm understanding this fundamental question, right? Why I'm doing what I'm doing. If you are able to answer these questions for each and every thought, word, and action of yours, then it means that you have started to become more and more aware. So where is the religion involved here?
Correct, correct. See, I just asked this because there is a common misunderstanding if there in the public that, and when they are trying to connect everything to some sort of some identity they are trying to give. So I would like to actually I was like to hear from you on that. So exactly, you precisely said it is for no way connected to a religion. It's all about knowing your state of mind and trying to be a mindfulness. So thank you for a wonderful clarification, Krishna. Again, when I would like to say, I was one guy observe and analyze the evolution of human civilization. If you look at the evolution of human civilization over the centuries and the thousands of centuries, see, and recently, you are also giving a trainings coach, a mindfulness coach, coachings to the different, people, so starting from students to youngsters and organizations. Also, you are doing. So, what do you think? Is that mindfulness, the state of that awareness? Okay, if that is being increased over the period generation to generation. For example, millennials are there. Okay, is generation Z is there. Okay, like that, generation to generation. If that mindfulness, awareness of mindfulness is being increased or it is declining. So, what is the trend of that awareness?
So actually, we over a period of time, I think we are living more mindlessly.
Okay.
We are living more mindlessly, So that is more to do with education and our own parenting.
Hmm.
See, I give you, a situation which I typically ask, including the corporate top level leaders,
Hmm.
constantly parents, educators, constantly managers and leaders find new ways. Organizations want to find new ways to motivate employees. Organizations wants new incentives, new titles, destination, designations to motivate, inspire employees, institutions, education institutions, and parents are finding more and more avenues, more and more motivational people to increase the level of passion amongst the audience, right? So I'm asking one simple question. I'm giving you three scenarios. I'm giving you three scenarios.
Okay.
In the first scenario, let us say you are a student, you're a school student. GSK Satish Kumar is still in school. He's in 8th standard, for example,
Fine.
right? And you are writing an essay. You're writing an essay. So your teacher comes and sees and says, Satish, your handwriting is brilliant, man. It's like artwork. It's like drawing. It's so beautiful. It's so perfect. So your teacher comes and praises you. Your teacher comes and talks about your handwriting being so perfect, so legible, so beautiful. This is the first scenario. The second scenario, your handwriting is bad. Your handwriting is bad. One teacher comes and says, Satish, you draw well, you talk well, you speak well, you draw well, right? You read well, you really, but your handwriting is little bad, man. Your handwriting is little bad, right? So because of that, you're losing some marks. So why can't you write well? Why can't you write well? Why can't you improve your handwriting? This is the second scenario. The third
Okay.
scenario, your handwriting is still bad. Your handwriting is still bad. A teacher comes and says, Satish, how the hell you came to 8th standard? Your handwriting is like, stupid, man. It's idiotic. It's like scribbling, right? You are not worth to be in 8th standard. I don't know who the hell, how you passed 7th and came to 8th standard. Your handwriting is rubbish. These are three scenarios. So the first
Okay.
scenario, your handwriting is very good. The teacher comes and appreciates you. The second
Yeah.
scenario, handwriting is bad. The teacher comes and says, "Why can't you correct?" She says, "Yeah, your other skills are pretty good. Your handwriting is quite bad." This she points out. The third scenario, handwriting is bad. The said teacher, he or she comes and scolds you, rubbishes you, right? These scenarios you understood?
Yeah.
In the first scenario, how did you feel, Satish?
So I feel very happy. Yeah.
You feel very happy. The second scenario,
See, I feel happy. So I won't say I am very happy, but I feel happy because I got some critics also to develop.
third scenario,
Third scenario, I may not happy about that comment, but still, that may be a fact. But hearing those things may not give happiness to me, but that may be the fact.
see, in the first scenario, what made you happy, Satish?
Because she told I have a wonderful handwriting, and it's like it's there is no negativity, and there is no the negative side of my qualities or skills, only that positive side of my quality or a skill.
The second scenario, what made you partially happy, partially unhappy?
Because even though there was the mentioning about my good qualities, and there was also notifying something which I'm not doing well. Okay.
So third
That may,
scenario, what made you unhappy?
because there is no appreciation for what I really do, or something good. See, if I may do something bad, but in some aspects I'm good also. But when you are not getting no appreciation and no for your good things what you do, then you will be totally unhappy about that. Hello. Yes, Krishna. Hello. I think we lost connection with hello, Krishna. Hello. 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 Hi, Krishna. So please bear, and we lost connection with Krishna. Probably Krishna will join again. So we are having a wonderful discussion with Mr. Krishna, Ask Krishna Center for Mindfulness, and he is actually wonderfully explaining, the very, a kind of basic doubts, clarifications, all about what is all about mindfulness. So we are having a wonderful guest today. So he will be connecting again. So in the meantime, I request the audience to come up with questions. So share your questions in the chat box. So we will clarify with the guest of honor today. And so in this gap, let me also explain we Professor GSK Social Lab. It's a edtech organization. We offer a lot of innovative good programs. So please do visit our website, professorgsk.sociallab.org. So in that series, we are having a discussion. Every Wednesday, we used to have a discussion interaction with Professor GSK, and also we do panel discussions on alternative week Wednesdays. So again, we got guest again connected here. So let's back to Krishna. So uh, yes, Krishna. Hello. Hello. Yes, Krishna, we are trying to connect with you. Hello. Hello. Yes, glitches happening this time. So it all happens these days when we do a lot of programs online. Yeah. Now we got back. Yes, Krishna. Yeah. We lost you in between. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Sorry, I think so. Yes, yes, yes.
No problem.
So
Yeah,
when we
yeah.
talked
Please,
about those
please.
three scenarios, yeah.
Yeah.
So in the first scenario,
Yeah.
right? See, the irony is your own good handwriting did not make you happy. Somebody else's outside appreciation and recognition of it has made you happy. So
Yeah.
you are telling me you are dependent on your happiness or outside appreciation, but not what you have. Your own good handwriting did not make you happy. That was always with you. But only when somebody came and recognized it, somebody came and appreciated it, you are happy. So all the time, if you are mindless, you understand you need external motivation to push you. The second scenario, right? See, what is the purpose of handwriting? What is the meaning of handwriting? What is the purpose of handwriting? The purpose of handwriting is to record and communicate. Is
Correct.
to record and communicate.
Yeah.
Right? If somebody is saying something, I want to record. I want to make a note of it, and later on use it, communicate. Now, if I'm scribbling, so because of the external motivation, but I fail to understand the purpose of the handwriting. The purpose is not correcting me. The meaning is not correcting
Yeah.
me. External motivation is correcting. I'm vexed. I'm depressed. I don't feel correct. So I am stuck with my bad handwriting. And I'm depressed not because I'm not unhappy because I have a bad handwriting. I'm not unhappy because I'm having a bad handwriting. But somebody scolded me, I'm unhappy. So my happiness and my sadness, my happiness and unhappiness is based on others. I have given my
Hmm.
key to my happiness to others.
Yeah.
But
Exactly. Yeah.
if you are mindful, if you are aware, then says, Satish, you have a good hand. Good. I know I have a good handwriting. Thank you. Not that you should be elated because of that. Second, if your handwriting is bad, somebody comes and points to you, Satish, your handwriting is not good. Okay, I'll correct it. Somebody comes and very critically says, what useless man are you, man? How did you come to 8th standard? Since such handwriting, you should have been read in 5th standard. Okay, my handwriting is bad. Somebody is pointing out to it. Is my handwriting really bad? Yes. Then I start correcting it. Not, I don't take it to my head, whether it's a good, whether it is a flattery or whether it's a criticism. I don't take it to my head, and out of that I take some happiness or sadness. Right? So the way I approach the world is very simple. I approach because how others lead me, how others influence me. Am I myself? Am I myself? No. Am I happy because I have a good handwriting? Am I sad because I'm having a bad handwriting? No, I'm happy because somebody has pointed out that I have a good handwriting, and I'm unhappy because somebody is criticized me.
Yeah.
I have lost myself. So if somebody is mindful, somebody is aware, and if you take a college, a professor in the college, or you put a advisor,
Yeah.
whatever may be, instead of handwriting, you put whatever may be that activity, then you are not dependent on.
Yeah. Yes, yes, Krishna. Yeah. In between, your voice is breaking. It's fine, I think now. Yeah. See, I got it. The wonderful understanding about mindfulness for about last 40 minutes of discussion. See, one thing I understood that it's all about self awareness, as you told. Mindfulness is all about self awareness. About the things what you do, and about how you live your life. See, if it is more about self awareness, if it is more about self correcting yourself in terms of understanding yourself, and in terms of understanding the way you approach the things in your life. So where does this the helping hand of coaching comes in for the development of the self awareness? Because we are talking about, it's more about the self, okay, self realization, self awareness. Where does this coaching comes, and how does this coaching will play a role in self awareing oneself? So because that is
Satish,
what you are doing.
this is a very intense and a beautiful question.
Yeah.
This is such a wonderful question. See, where does a coach comes in? Though it's a modern word, we try to use it for, to reach people, right?
Mm.
I'm not very comfortable with the word coach, though I use it for myself. I'm not very comfortable with that word.
Mm.
But the role of the coach is to point out when you are mindless.
Okay. Mm.
Not that the coach can make you mindful, not that the coach can make you aware, not that the coach can change you. No, but the coach can point out when you are mindless, when you are unconscious, when you are not aware of yourself. The coach can point out that you are mindless. Now, for example, going back to the same example, now you have been happy because of the appreciation you got, not because of your own handwriting.
Mm.
Right now, this pointing out is the role of the coach, and the coach cannot change you, or no other person can change you, but some other can come along and point out to you that you are living a mindless life. But it is up to the individual, up to the person to understand that direction and then look at it very passionately, right? So that starts there. So that is the role of the coach.
Yeah, even when you, as a coach or as a a person, notifying or indicating the mindlessness of a person, to understand that Krishna is actually trying to notifying me, trying to helping me out to make me aware I am mindlessness. So to understand that itself, I need to be little open minded. I need to be little self aware. See, some degree of self awareness even required to understand whether the Krishna is trying to notify me, indicating me that I am mindlessness. See, the partial mindfulness should be there to even receive the a notification about I am partially mindlessness also. So that is what I think. So what do you think on my
Yes,
comment on this?
yes. See, suppose I'm expecting a message from you. I'm
Mm.
expecting a message from you. And if I off my phone and keep, how will I get the message?
Mm.
I have to first, whatever may be the message, first I have to switch on the phone and keep it alive. I have to charge it, put a SIM card or put a Wi-Fi connection and keep that receptivity open. See, earlier you said The moment I feel some disturbance, I want to go to a psychologist to correct myself. Unless until you have the urge, you feel the hunger, I can point out the direction of the food, right? But you have to be aware that you are hungry, and you have to have the passion to end your hunger. Then somebody can come and say, that is the dining room, there's the food, you can go and eat. But you have to walk, go to the dining room, sit there, serve yourself and eat the food, right? So unless until that little bit of openness, that little bit of awareness you have, it is very difficult. Otherwise you will come for an argument. If I point out, Satish, you are mindless, if I point out, who are you to comment on my life? Get lost. You'll come with that argumentative mind, right? Unless until you are open, unless until you have the basic receptivity, right? Unless until you want to understand yourself, and in that understanding, if not just the coach, you can learn from the entire universe. Yes, especially things which make us little bit fearful and uncomfortable teaches us a lot. Teaches us a lot. So unless until I have the basic receptivity, the basic openness, not to defend anything, not to defend everything, not to resist everything, just to understand. Satish is saying something. Let me listen to it. Let me have an open chat with Satish. He's trying to say something, right? Unless until I have that openness in me, if anybody else points out, it is not going to help me. I have to have that basic receptivity. Yes, Satish, you are absolutely right.
Yeah. See, again, let's come back to the living of an individual in the social environment, right? So I believe the social environment and the lifestyle, okay, that really highly influences the individuals, the mindset of being open and reciprocating to the then this kind of notification. See, I hope you are one observing different social environments of different societies, communities in this world. See, if you observe, different Indian community, the US community, Western Indian, and the rural life and urban life, the culture is different, the customs is different, totally the lifestyle is totally different. So, what is the role of these circumstances in, having that openness and having some kind of that partial awareness I am talking about, right? So, what is the degree of the role of these the social circumstances in being partially
No,
aware?
it plays
Yeah.
a very drastic role, because our culture, if you take the Indian culture, is based on following somebody, conforming to a tradition, having an authority for everything, right? Asking
Mm.
the elders, right? Not questioning them, following them blindly. But if
Mm.
you take the Western culture, it is much more open, it is much
Mm.
more questionable. The respect is not out of tradition and age and all those things. So it does plays a vital role, but it is up to the individual to be aware of the conditioning. Again,
Okay.
it boils down to the individual, that if the individual has that intense urge to be aware, then it doesn't matter whether you are from the east or from the west.
Okay, good. So again, we have, we are almost 55 minutes. We have a discussion in between 5 minutes of small technical disruptions. So we have two, three questions from audience. So we'll be taking those questions now. So there is one question from Gauri. Okay. I think we have already discussed it again. Anyhow, what are some beginner techniques for people looking to start a mindfulness practice? Make it precise to to make it.
See, you talk about technique.
Mm.
See, if there is no technique at all, either you're mindful or you're not mindful. You're aware, you're not aware. That's all. Right? So it is moment to moment practice. How can I have a technique to practice mindfulness now? How can I have a technique now to be mindful later? It defeats the purpose. It defeats the purpose, right? Every moment I keep changing. The individual keeps changing. Right now I may be fearful. Next moment I may be angry. Next moment I may be greedy. The other moment I may be lonely. The next moment I may be out of compassion. next moment I may be cruel. So am I understanding myself moment by moment? So and am I aware when I am not aware?
Okay.
This is very important. When I'm slipping in awareness, when I'm inattentive, am I aware at that moment? Then I start becoming aware. So, to my understanding, though globally people say they look at the breath, look at the eyes, close your eyes, count something, all these techniques they are giving, but it defeats the whole approach to mindfulness, because mindfulness means to be choicelessly, non-judgmentally be aware moment by moment. Now how am I to practice this moment to be aware in the next moment? It doesn't make sense to me.
Okay. So before I go to next question from audience, I would like to know one thing. You are giving, a kind of programs to individuals as well as to the organizations, right? So you have programs at your end who will voluntarily come to you. So I believe personally, mindfulness will work for the people, those who volunteer themselves to, understand that. So I believe it won't work for the people where the training is being pushed to them. Okay, so it may work better
True, true,
for the
true.
people, those who are coming volunteer to get to know about this. See, I believe you are giving programs to individuals as well as to the organizations. Okay. Um, why does these days organizations are imparting this mindfulness programs to their employees? Because see, not all organizations are doing. So I would like to know uh, the mindset of organization and which kind of mindset oriented organizations are really going for adopting mindfulness coaching. So I would like to know the organization's mindset in terms of imparting the mindfulness
See,
coaching programs.
if you take Microsoft,
Mm,
when there was a few years back, when there was a massive leadership change,
mm,
when Satya Nadella was brought in to lead Microsoft,
mm,
in his own book, in his own memoir, in his own book, he has
mm,
written one of the first people he engaged
mm,
to engage with the senior management people,
mm,
directors and vice presidents, is bring a mindfulness coach. So any organization which wants to be extremely mentally alert, extremely focused on creative juices, to have a direction which wants to be, less stressful, more productive, highly mentally alert, you know work on less leadership burnout, employee burnout. These are the organizations. The mindset is to harness the power, to harness the and nurture the power of present and now. These are the organizations, the mindset of organization leaders who are really into mindfulness. They want to look at mindfulness as a tool to harness the and nurture the power of present and now.
okay. Okay. Thank you very much. So let's have other question from audience. On Mr. Junaid asked this. We as humans go through a lot of emotional imbalance. Is it possible to be mindful about everything we do?
See, it may not be possible to be mindful about everything we do. It may not be possible and it is not needed also. But is it possible to be aware that I am not mindful of it? That is possible, right? I may not be I may not be aware of all the emotions that I go through, but there are certain pockets, there are certain areas where I am unmindful, where I am mindless, where I am inattentive, where I am not aware. Is it possible for me to be aware? Is it possible for me to be conscious? Is it possible for me to be attentive of my inattention?
Yeah.
So that is
Thank you.
possible.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, yeah. So I think Junaid, you got the the perfect answer from Krishna. So let's take one more question from audience. Actually I too thought of asking the question. What Santosh has asked actually. See, what misconceptions do most people have when they hear the term mindfulness? For example, when people hear the word mindfulness, we sometimes the common people alternatively used to think it's about meditation. Okay, so that is, I too wonder how come these people synonymous this mindfulness with the meditation. So there are a lot of misconceptions are there. So can you answer Santosh's questions as well, since there is a lot of misconceptions are there in the public?
See, as you rightly pointed out, Satish, one of the most popular
Yeah.
misconception is people equate mindfulness and meditation, and it is one and other, the same. Meditation is also to be in the present and now, mindfulness also is to be in the present and now. See, other popular misconceptions are, see, people feel that, when you are into mindfulness, when you are into mindful living, that you have to live a life of, without emotions, without any sensations. You have to be like a saint, or you have to be like a priest, very calm, very sober, right? You cannot become angry, you cannot become fearful. All these are very popular misconceptions. But I would say, if you are fearful, be aware that you are fearful. If so, I'm not saying don't even try to become, courageous, don't try to become, something else. When you are fearful, be aware that you are fearful. When you are angry, right, when you are getting angry, be aware that you are getting angry, right? So it is not about running away or trying to change anger into calmness. All that is not part of mindfulness. So people think that, people who are into mindfulness are very calm, very,
Like,
sober, very,
okay.
saintly. Yeah. So these are very strong misconceptions. They meditate a lot, so, right? All these things are very strong misconceptions. But I would say, suppose you are fearful, right? Tomorrow you have a presentation to be done, right? You. It's not that, forcefully have a positive thinking. No, if you have a negative thinking that I am afraid tomorrow, pretty nervous, I'm pretty anxious to face the crowd. Tomorrow I have to do a presentation in my office in front of my senior management. You be aware that I'm fearful. You be aware that you are fearful. Be aware. It is not that, try to hide that fear or mask that fear or act to be courageous or push yourself to be positive. All these things doesn't work, right? So if you're angry, if suppose say you're angry with your spouse, you're angry with your manager, be aware that you're angry, right? It is not that when you're mindful, your anger dissolves, it goes away and you're free from anger. All that is later on. But is it possible for you to start with, to be aware about what you are, why you are, what you are? This is the beginning of mindfulness.
So, kind of emotionally intelligent, for managing stress are not mindfulness, right?
No, it happens automatically. It is not that, again, I will not segregate, emotional intelligence, social intelligence, body awareness, body consciousness, all these things. I don't compartmentalize. It is an integral life. My body, my emotions, my intelligence, my thinking, all these faculties put together is Krishna. Right?
Yeah.
All these factors put together is Krishna. Whether I'm sleeping or I'm awake, all these factors put together is Krishna. Not that, I take out one thread and try to manipulate it, I try to manage it, and then say I'm emotionally aware and socially intelligent and intellectually I am different. No, it doesn't work.
Okay. So, let's take one final question from audience. So, how do we stay motivated, keeping our mind focused?
See, why I would like to answer, I would like to ask another question, and I will try to answer it here, right? Why do you want to keep your mind focused? I'm more interested in to understanding the motive or intention behind your action. Your action is you want to keep your mind focused, right? But why? Because you fear if you are not focused, you lose out on life. So first you understand fear, you try to understand fear, then automatically your mind will be focused.
So, as you said, having some fear, okay, maybe the start point of, self-awareing ourselves, right? So, what we are trying to do and why we should do. To start with, why we should do. First of all, to attain something, to take a right path in your career or life, the fear is, always the people look at the fear crisis are more like a, the something which is not preferable in the life. But what I, even this corona pandemic crisis, see, I always used to say, the crisis never comes alone. The crisis always comes with opportunities. Okay, so whenever you also come with some sort of uncomfortable in your life. Okay, so when you are realizing you are uncomfortable, then I think that is the start point of moving, making myself moving towards mindfulness. Is it so?
Sir, see, I don't think mindfulness has any direction or any outcome, any ambition to it, right? So it is simple. If I'm fearful, if I understand two things, if I ask you this question, what is fear? How do you answer this?
Mm.
How do you answer this question? What is fear?
Fear is something which I am worrying about, and I may not
No, you are expressing the effect of fear. When you have fear,
Mm,
right? Worrying is an effect of fear,
mm. It's a
right?
kind of uncertain, right? So it's a kind of uncertain. So if something is not certain, then I will get fear.
So then should you not understand why you are looking for certainty?
Okay.
So now, if you ask what you are looking is certainty. Now, if you ask
Mm.
yourself why you are looking for certainty, and is there any certainty in this universe?
Yeah, that is what we started the discussion. There is no certainty at all. Yeah.
Then, if I understand that, then my search for certainty stops, right?
Yeah. True.
With that, my fear also stops.
True. True.
Then I take life as it comes. I move forward.
Mm. Good. Yeah, true, exactly. Yeah. So, actually, thank you very much. Actually, we are, running out of time. So, I don't want to take much of your precious time. But even then, within the, that stipulated time, we had a, all the possible, the points related to mindfulness. And it's not like a, it's an, we had a very casual conversation. I just asked from the common man's perspective, even though I read a lot about mindfulness and I personally have some quite a strong understanding in mindfulness. I just asked the basics of all things for the better clarification for the viewers of this particular session. So in that way, you wonderfully explained the all the the questions, and you also answered very beautifully to the questions raised by the participants. So on behalf of our team, Professor GSK Social Laboratory, it is our honor to thank you, Mr. Krishna, coming over here. So thank you very much, Krishna, for this.
Wonderful program, Professor. I really thoroughly enjoyed it. It was so natural and organic the way it evolved, and I also thank the viewers, for such wonderful questions. And it's thanks for this wonderful responsibility to connect with you and through you, your viewers. Thank you so much. Looking forward to